I think one of the biggest problems with communication and miscommunication in relationships is people interrupting each other. Yeah, it's unbelievable. We're arguing, we're debating, we want to get our point across. We already know. So the other person can say like 6 words. We already know what their entire position is after 6 words, and we interrupt them to tell them that they got their head up their ass and they're wrong, and we're right. So everybody wants to be right, and so when they start getting the sense that the other person yeah, has a position, we need to slam it down. We need to challenge it. We need to tell them, no, you're wrong, we're right. So what do? We interrupt. We don't give them the courtesy, the respect of letting them take their position, and then we respond. And oftentimes they don't give us the courtesy of listening to us and hearing us out. We interrupt each other incessantly, constantly, and this makes communication extremely difficult because just because we may think we know what other people are going to say beforehand. Oftentimes we do, because people oftentimes have one note and they just keep on saying the same thing and take the same position, and they don't change their mind. But a lot of times there are mitigating circumstances. There are other situations or variables that we didn't take into account when we made an assumption about why they said that or did that. And if we hear them out, oftentimes we'll realize, oh, wait, oh, maybe it was me who had my head up my ass. It's like, yeah, we jump to conclusions, we make assumptions, we interrupt, and then we slam people, and then later we find out that there's egg on our face. It's really important to stop interrupting each other. Okay, now if somebody's going on and 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 on, and they're not letting you get a word in edgewise, then at a certain point, yes, you have to say, hey, what's fair is fair. Time's up. Sorry to interrupt you, but it didn't seem like you were taking any of the social cues into account. It seemed like you were just monopolizing the conversation, and I'd like to get my 2 cents in. And then you do. But for the most part, in the fighting that couples do in particular, don't interrupt. It's a mistake. Start to catch yourself when you're interrupting and stop. If they say you interrupted me, say, I'm sorry. Yes, please continue. I want to hear you out. You need to hear people out. So practice not interrupting. Catch yourself when you're interrupting someone and stop and apologize and let them speak. And so first they speak and you listen, and then you speak and you respond and they listen, and then they speak and you listen. This is the way to avoid misunderstandings, miscommunications. This is a way to avoid a lot of resentment and anger and bitterness and yelling and screaming and invalidating and shaming and guilting. This is the way to improve your lives, right? Listen before you speak. Don't interrupt.